We asked the question, are dating apps designed to keep you single forever?
Dating apps are designed to be addictive, kind of like playing the slot machines in Las Vegas. Not had a win yet? Well, why not put some more money in the slot? Or, with a dating app, why not just swipe a few more times until you find a winner? You're bound to eventually, right? Or are you?
Most dating apps were never designed to help you get married. They were designed to keep you single. Because as long as you stay single, you're going to keep swiping. And as long as you keep swiping, their investors make money. But as soon as you get married, you're going to leave the website. And that's the last thing they want.
Dating apps are ultimately a business. And businesses need to make money. If they help us to find a long-term companion, do they then potentially lose a source of income? And do they, therefore, want us to stay single?
At the same time, if you're on the website and you don't find any matches, you also leave the website. So how do they keep you there? They have to give you enough matches to keep you swiping. At the same time, they want to make sure those matches don't go anywhere. So they have to limit everything to surface level information. That's why it's not a coincidence where they give you only your first name, your age, your picture, all surface level things, because even if you do match, it's not matching on any type of deep compatibility, so it's less likely to lead to marriage.
So obviously dating apps are designed to help us form connections.
Yeah.
But are those connections necessarily going to lead to long-term commitments? There are elements within their design that can actually hinder meaningful connections.
So let's examine some aspects of dating app design that are actually intended to contribute to this.
The first one is gamification. Some of the game-like elements are things like swiping, liking, and matching. Some aspects of dating apps are designed to be addictive. It can give you, like any kind of social media, that little buzz when you get a notification.
Yeah, and you just have to look at it.
Yeah, which obviously isn't great if you're trying to build a long-term relationship with someone.
There's a lot of distraction, isn't there? Even if you found somebody to talk to, there's all this other activity going on and you think, oh, well, she is nice, but wonder who else is interested in me.
Yeah. But I think all of this kind of turns the search for a partner into kind of a casual, almost meaningless game rather than something that's about finding a genuine connection with someone. The next one is messaging dynamics. Communication on dating apps can sometimes be fraught with challenges based on things like ghosting, where someone might just drop off, or breadcrumbing, where people are just kind of like giving you enough to keep you following along.
If he's ignoring you, here's what you do. You quietly move on.
And the reason you quietly move on isn't because you're trying to prove a point to them or to get them back or anything. It's because you have enough self-respect and worth to know if somebody doesn't want me, no fucking problem. Arrivederci, baby. Someone ghosting you doesn't have anything to do with you. That is their way of handling confrontation. What that says to me is that person is not emotionally mature enough to be able to have a conversation with me or to just send me a text and let me know that they don't want to be with me. No worries. Why would I waste any time further on somebody that doesn't embody the characteristics of a partner that I would want to grow a life with?
Other challenges where things don't always come across how they're intended in the written word because you don't get things like body language and tone of voice and things that help us understand people's true intention. Also, I think sometimes people just aren't great at communicating in the written word.
That's so true, actually. Yes, that's not natural for some people.
Yeah.
And that must really hold them back to a large extent. I hadn't really thought about that.
Exactly. It's not a skill that everyone has. It doesn't mean that they can't communicate with you verbally. I suppose this can happen to guys too, but very often some of my female friends who are on dating apps kind of lament all of the messages that guys send asking for certain types of pictures or
Yeah,
those type of things, which can just be like so overwhelming.
so that's normal, is it, to get asked for certain kind of pictures?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
I'm not surprised, really.
No. So the next problem is superficiality. Very often on most dating apps you'll just see some pictures and a kind of brief description of them, which can lead to you making superficial choices based on how they look rather than actually something more meaningful like their personality or your compatibility with them.
So something I recently learned, because I was reading this study that Hinge came out with not too long ago, is that for women who are on dating apps, if you have pictures of yourself where your hair is pulled up and back and out of your face, you are 27% more likely to get swiped on and to receive a like. Isn't that crazy? I low-key always thought it was the opposite. I thought that having your hair down would make you look more attractive. And if you are in a photo and you are looking away, so you're not like looking straight on, but you're like all candid and cute and like looking away, you are 74% more likely to get a like. Isn't that crazy?
You might keep going on dates with guys who, yeah, they're hot, or girls who are hot,
but they're not really right for you, or you don't really meet that person that you gel with.
Yeah. And some people just aren't photogenic, are they?
No, let's face it, yes, some of us aren't.
If you give them a chance and meet them in real life, you might think, oh.
And sometimes you find somebody attractive physically, not just by their physical photograph, say, but when they start talking, there's something about them, maybe their glint in their eye or their smile or their sort of cheeky manner. Yeah, there's something that really attracts you physically as well as emotionally to that person.
Yeah, but the trouble with dating apps is it's hard to get to that stage sometimes because all you've got to go on is this brief description of them.
And of course, you don't know if they're up to date until you get talking to them because the picture could have been taken 10 years ago on a very good day.
That's happened to me a few times. Some of the dating apps will focus on short-term relationships or kind of casual hookups and things like that, which is all well and good as long as that's what you're looking for. And that's quite a good business model in a way, because people are they know that they're going to keep coming, and they're fine with that. But yeah, as we say, it's just good to bear in mind that not every app out there is designed to help you find a long-term relationship.
Gen Z is not the hookup generation everybody expected us to be and marketed to us. So apps are having to change their entire strategy just to keep us as customers. Tinder, for example, was initially known as the casual sex app, now has to reinvent itself for a hookup-averse Gen Z by pivoting on a focus to love. I guess we're starting to realize these apps are just trying to retain you as a customer and not help you fall in love.
Do your research basically and figure out which app is for you. If one isn't working, then maybe try another one or go out in the real world and see what happens.
Big scary world.
You feel like the apps are the only way to actually meet people nowadays because nobody approaches anyone anymore, right? Everyone's just on their phone. Even when you're at a bar, at a restaurant, people have just become scared and we don't know how to interact with each other.
It's imperative for you, if you want to find the best relationship of your life, to start shooting your shot messily.
Oh, I love
to
that.
Be the person who approaches somebody else at the bar, expecting them to co-create a conversation. You can shoot your shot and the right person, the right people are going to be so delighted that you approached them. They're going to pick up the ball of the conversation and then the conversation blossoms.
Notifications. So often they bombard users with notifications, you know, text, email, encouraging them to go back on the app. It's very hard to ignore something, isn't it? Especially something that sounds really positive. Like you've just got 5 new likes or whatever.
Or like new match has sent you a message. Of course you're going to look.
Yeah, of course.
Which I think is fine as long as you're aware that it's designed to stop you from breaking the habit of checking the app, you know, as long as you're aware of how much attention and how much time is being poured into these things.
Yeah, because it is a large amount of time that you're on these apps when you could be doing other things. But if you enjoy it and you get a buzz out of it, that's fine.
Yeah, it is. It's just good to make sure that it's not that you then start relying on it, you know, like with any social media, it can become very addictive.
I think it's a shame just generally that people nowadays are so hooked on their phones and the social media that they're not really interacting in the real world all the time. Lots of people work from home. There's not so much social interaction as there used to be.
You can still go and meet people in person. Social media has made us antisocial. Yeah? Stop that shit. Yeah, especially with men, ladies, man. Let the man be in front of you and feel his pheromones. Yeah, it says get that masculine energy, man, because anybody can be whoever they want to be. But when they're in front of you, that's when you feel what's going on. You know what I mean? Eye contact.
Also being aware that you're not getting caught in patterns that actually perpetuate your singlehood. If you're getting addicted to the game-like features or addicted to the messaging or addicted to, oh, I'm getting so many likes, those things can very often keep you, consciously or unconsciously, from finding a partner because it actually feels better to be on the app.
Because you're getting constant validation, aren't you, and admiration.
More than you could reasonably get from a single individual, you know. If finding a long-term partner is your goal, it's worth bearing in mind that there might be things about these apps that are actually keeping you from that.
The next thing is endless choice. There's like a paradox of choices. Users are bombarded with different profiles. There's all this choice, and then are you then overwhelmed by the choice and you can't decide which person to sort of focus on more because all these different choices keep coming up. It just gets too much and you can't make a decision. You know, it's that, I can't can't decide this yet.
So you just don't. You're just like, well, this is fine. You know, I'm feeling validated. I'm feeling happy. I'm not lonely. Why even make a definite choice?
Yeah,
Unless someone does really jump out at you for some reason. But very often it's hard to do that on a dating app, I think.
Yeah.
You're cute. You're cute too. I hate these dating apps. So do I. Oh, great. Shall we meet up sometime and hang out? No. I like to mask my crippling loneliness by showing presence on these apps, but I'm unwilling to committingly engage in these interactions just due to the exhaustive nature of my previous physical and emotional experiences. So does Friday work? It does actually. Really? No. Delete. Cool. They were keen. Little freak. Why am I single though? I just don't get it.
The next thing is algorithmic matching. The algorithm is only based on what you put out there on your profile, and it might be very narrow or it might not be quite true.
Even then, it's not always right that you're going to get on with someone who just has similar interests in you.
Exactly, because in real life you end up quite often with people with quite different interests and personality to you and what you think you would like.
Yeah.
Because, you know, opposites do attract.
Yeah.
Monetization features. Apps obviously want to increase their income, and sometimes that, well, very often that motive gets in the way and overrides the most important thing for the consumer, which is finding a partner or a date.
There'll be things like premium features or subscriptions and things like that. And if you were then to find a romantic relationship that you're happy with and leave, that's not great for the dating app, you know?
It's good that you've paid for the extra feature, but they want you to come back and pay again.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes people can spend a lot of money on these apps because obviously a lot of people do want to find love. And we do hear a lot of stories where people do find love on dating apps.
Yeah, we should say that actually, because I do know a fair number of people who I know personally or that people have told me about that do find a long-lasting relationship from apps. But of course, as we said in the beginning, they have lost the custom of those people if they're staying together.
I suppose they need a certain number of people for it to work for, so you can hear that it does work.
I think what they do is they promote stories about the couples who've met and have living happily ever after, so they can say, oh, they've lived happily ever after because they've met through our dating app.
Exactly.
So obviously they want some sort of success rate, as do the slots in Las Vegas, for example. You need to have a certain percentage of winners to encourage other people to come in and have a go.
It is a bit like a lottery, isn't it? It can be really hard for people who then feel like, oh, if I just spend this much money, maybe it'll happen for me.
I know a lot of people get so disillusioned they actually stop, either for good or for a while, because mentally it's difficult to be rejected or just to keep going on dates and not really finding what you're looking for. So these companies obviously have got to keep trying to get people to come back again, even if they do fail.
It's worth saying that some dating apps do have features such as safety features and offline meetups and customer support and things like that that can actually help you keep your mental health and your own personal well-being at the forefront whilst using these apps. Why not let us know your dating app stories, good or bad, in the comment section below.
We hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe to us on YouTube.